Alright, here we are in the finals of our Ravnica Guildpact rough drafts. This hand's a little land heavy, but we have a lot of card draw, and our opponent's mulliganing, so I think I'm going to keep it. So we're just going to land go. Drift of Phantasms is a good blocker. Gruul Turf for our opponent. Picks up the forest. Repeal could end up being nice. Well, let's just play our Signet here. Pass the turn. Next turn, unless we draw blue mana, we almost certainly have to play Aqueduct. Civic Wayfinder, going to search out a land for our opponent. Alright, yeah, I guess it's just bounce land, pick up the mountain, and pass the turn. Next turn we can start actually playing spells, which is nice. Don't really want to repeal the Wayfinder. Alright, so since there's red on it, it gains haste until end of turn. So we're taking 5. Yep, down to 15. I think we're just going to play Drift of Phantasms here. It's the best blocker of the bunch. Replay the mountain. Playing Torch Drake or Dimir Infiltrator doesn't really help us too much. Alright, well, we're definitely snapping off a block when our opponent attacks on the Gruul Scrapper. Down to 13. And what's the follow-up? Bramble Elemental. Our mana is really coming back to get us in this one. We can't play multiple spells in a turn, which is pretty punishing. Well, let's play the Swamp. Just pass the turn. We're probably going to end up just repealing the Bramble Elemental. It's not really exciting, but I think that's what we got to do. Another land for our opponent. Yeah, let's repeal Bramble Elemental. I think we have to, unfortunately. Maybe we draw into another blue source. Rune Boggle. Ay, another blue card. We really want to be able to play like Infiltrator plus leave up Peel from Reality or something along those lines. That would be much better. Another Civic Wayfinder. Gets our opponent another land. And Night Guard Patrol. Our opponent has gone pretty wide. There's another blue source. That's good. So I think we're just going to play a... I think we just play Dimir Infiltrator. We could play Torch Drake. I don't think it's really worth it. I think we're better off trying to block and peel something. Veteran Armor gives everything some more toughness. We might actually be able to Rune Boggle that 4/4 if they just go land into, what is it, something Bramble Elemental? Opponent goes attacking, we go blocking, taking 4, unfortunately. Down to 7. We haven't really drawn any removal, and we've been a little stuck on lands. Ooh, Rune Boggle's time to shine! Sweet. Well, at least Roomboggle paid off once. It's gotta be so depressing. Ooh, and we draw a removal spell that we can't cast. Land 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, so we should be able to Torch Drake. Pass the turn. Leave up Peel from Reality and Last Grasp. Gasp. Might be enough. Really depends on what our opponent has left. Opponent's going to go attacking. Well, kill Veteran Armor. Then we block, block, and block. And now the board is actually almost stable. We lost a Torch Drake. We're down to 5, but we're actually not taking damage anymore. At the moment. Thundersong Trumpeter. And our opponent's last card. Oh, Convoking. What? The big flyer. Conclave Equinox. Ugh, another land. Not great. So, Torch Drake. Mountain. Pass the turn. Yeah, I think we just started off a bit too slow. We were too far behind the 8-ball when we actually started doing things. And we haven't drawn any of our best spells. I mean, we finally drew a Last Grasp, which helps. And the repeal was fine, but subpar draw, I think, overall. Compared to what I would expect from our deck. We're not just dead, though. Thundersong Trumpeter on our Torch Drake. Well, block. And block. Down to 2. And our opponent drew another action spell. Fists of Ironwood. Well, this isn't great, but we can't let that resolve, so bounce and bounce. And our opponent gets to immediately recast, and we need a draw or we're dead. Really need to kill Thundersong Trumpeter. And a land. Alright. Well, rough drawing there. Yeah, I don't think we can really change anything. We are just going to... yeah, let's just run it back. Alright, game 2 of match 3 of our rough drafts. We're in the finals, and we'll give it a shot. Little land heavy, but at least we have a couple of spells. Can repeal something to draw a card. Torch Drake can be a fast clock. Alright, island go. Mountain for our opponent, mountain for us. I would have liked to draw more non-lands, but we'll see. Opponent has a Thundersong Trumpeter. Well, let's just draw a couple cards here with Consult the Necrosages. Pillory and Ribbons of Night are both good draws. We're going to have to wait on Pillory till we get a white source, but still, those are the kind of cards we want to see. Ooh, 4-2. Well. Let's play Torch Drake. If our opponent wants to make it not blocked to get in with Bloodscale, I guess that's fine. And then we can Ribbons of Night it on our turn. Gain back the life, draw a card. Yep, that looks like the plan. So they are a pretty aggressive Naya Bloodthirst deck by the looks. And we are definitely the control deck. Alright, they keep playing powerful things. Another Torch Drake. Well, let's just Ribbons of Night that thing. I think that's scarier because it can be like a removal spell by forcing our Drake to block. Ugh, another land. Another land is not what we really wanted. Gotta stay back to force our opponent to activate Trumpeter instead of just attacking with it. We're still at 18 though, so that's good. Can't block. Gonna be dropping down to 14. What's our opponent's follow-up? Civic Wayfinder, alright. At least it's not something super aggressive. If we can answer the Trumpeter, we're all of a sudden not in horrible shape. A white source would be nice. I guess we can repeal the Trumpeter. Or I guess we just wait and repeal the Prowler, make him replay it. That's probably better. Assuming we don't draw anything else. Alright, bounce land for our opponent. Well, Mountain, go. So we're just going to have to repeal this Prowler. That Trumpeter is pretty annoying. Alright, repeal that thing. Make our opponent pay to recast it. Well, there's white mana. Slow white mana, but it is white mana. Down to 12. Just might be too slow all around. Another removal spell would be good. There's the big flyer. Well, let's Torch Drake. Orzhov Basilica, bouncing a swamp. And then this, if our opponent doesn't have a way to kill a Torch Drake, we can block and trade with a Equinaut. And then next turn we can pillory this Thundersong Trumpeter. Actually, we can't. Well, that doesn't really help. We gotta pillory something else. We can pillory the 4/2 when our opponent replays it. Trumpeter's a really solid card, especially if you're aggressive. Oh, this is scary. They didn't even activate. Attacks with Civic Wayfinder? Alright, we'll block. That was a very odd turn. I don't know why they didn't just make it not block. Now they can't Bloodthirst that thing. Ah, I see. They wanted to use the mana for that. Well, let's Boros Signet. Pillory of the Sleepless, that big thing. Play the Mountain. We Dragonauts. And pass the turn. We're taking a beating. We're going to have to draw some non-lands. We have drawn a lot of mana sources again. 10 lands and a Signet. So we could use some more card draw, another removal spell. Invoke the Firemind would even be pretty excellent. If we never get rid of that Thundersong Trumpeter, things all of a sudden become a lot better. Take our beats. Down to 9. Here comes the Bloodthirst thing. Well, Tatterdrake isn't the worst. Tatterdrake at least gives us something that can block and regenerate, or it means our opponent's going to have to start targeting Tatterdrake with the Thundersong. Still going to need a removal spell to get rid of this Thundersong Trumpeter, and hope our opponent doesn't have anything huge. Fists of Ironwood. Not good. Gives it Trample and makes 2 Sapperling tokens. Tatterdrake can't block. Well, we're just going to double block this Conclave Equernaut, whatever that is. Hopefully they don't have a removal spell or we're really done for. Down to 5. Another Wee Dragonauts. Yeah, not great when we don't have any spells. Our opponent can make Tatterdrake not block. Yep. I guess it's also possible we just hit card draw and can like chain together some things with these Wee Dragonauts. What happens if we draw Invoke the Firemind? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. I think we block like this. Because if we draw Invoke the Firemind, we actually can just win. We burn our opponent, attack with everything, they take 1 on their upkeep. Instead we draw another Wee Dragonauts. Alright, so we play Wee Dragonauts, pass the turn, we're at 1 life. But our opponent can't really attack through our Dragonauts at the moment. And we still have the option of the possibility of just finding Invoke the Firemind and winning. So it's not over yet. But we're still obviously in a precarious situation. Any direct damage kills us. And that Thundersong Trumpeter is still pretty obnoxious. Now even like spell into spell does it. If we draw a Consult the Necrosages, we're just going to block with every single thing we have here. And regenerate the Tatterdrake. Actually, we don't even need to regenerate. It's not going to take any damage. And, oh, Mountain Walker. Oh, come on, Invoke the Firemind. Oh. Well, that does it. We couldn't find it. And they randomly can hose us with the Splunkers. Alright, well, our opponent's deck was pretty aggressive, and we just couldn't draw the right combination of things to keep up. Well, that was our Ravnica Guildpact Rough Drafts. Made it to the finals. Couldn't quite get over the hump to the victory. I think our deck was pretty sweet, though.